Today, we're diving into how a company called Kaloop is giving homeowner associations their very first full-time employee. But here's the twist. This employee isn't human at all. It's powered entirely by AI. So let's break down how this is completely changing the game.
I mean, just think about that for a second. What if you were hiring for a super important role, and the absolute best candidate for the job wasn't a person? It's a pretty wild thought, right? It really makes you rethink what the words work and employee even mean anymore.
And this isn't some futuristic sci-fi concept. For 100,000, that's right, 100,000 self-managed communities across the US, this is happening right now. They're bringing on a digital team member to solve one of their biggest headaches.
So, what is that big headache? Well, it's a problem that's quietly burning out thousands of good people. It's volunteer burnout. You know, the hidden, thankless grind of trying to manage your own community?
The promise of it all sounds so good. Neighbors helping neighbors, everyone chipping in to make their community better. But the reality for most HOA board members? It's just drowning in a sea of endless, repetitive emails and requests, most of them asking the exact same things over and over again. And that grind, it really comes down to a few key things. Constantly answering those same questions about bylaws and dues, having to chase down vendors for work orders, and just trying to get other busy volunteers on the same page. It is the perfect recipe for burnout, and it makes providing timely service almost impossible.
Okay, so this is where Kaloop steps in. And they didn't just offer up a better spreadsheet or some new email software. No, they came in with a totally different solution. An AI-first employee, a digital team member built from the ground up to take on all that communication grunt work.
You know, Kaloop's CEO Chris Abbott just nails it with this quote. They're not just selling a tool, they're providing a digital employee to run the day-to-day stuff. See how that reframes the whole thing? It's not software, it's a new hire.
And we are not talking about some simple chatbot here. This AI is a powerhouse. It can talk to people on any channel, chat, text, email, you name it. It instantly reads and understands all the HOA's documents to become an expert, and, this is key, it has a human-in-the-loop system, so a real person can easily check and fix its answers, making it smarter over time.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. It's not just one single AI trying to do everything. Kaloop actually built a whole team of specialized AI agents, a true digital workforce for every single community. And this just shows you how brilliant that division of labor is. You've got your concierge agent answering questions from residents 24/7. Then there's the vendor liaison who's managing all the maintenance stuff. And you even get a board secretary that can transcribe meetings and whip up draft minutes. Each one has its own specific job to do.
And they didn't just, flip a switch and hope for the best. The rollout was super methodical. First, they fed the AI all the community's documents. Then it ran in shadow mode, where volunteers could approve or correct its answers behind the scenes. Only after it proved itself did it go live. And eventually, they had a template they could just copy and paste for new communities in a snap.
So what happened? Did it actually work? Well, this is where the story gets really compelling. Let's look at the actual data behind the transformation that happens when you hire an AI.
Get this. Within 6 months, the AI was handling 65% of all homeowner questions all by itself. No human board member had to lift a finger. That's nearly 2/3 of all the incoming messages just gone, handled.
And look at what that did for the volunteers. The time they were spending digging through their inboxes plummeted from about 10 hours a month down to less than 3. That's a 70% drop. It freed them up to focus on, actually building the community, not just answering emails.
And this wasn't just about making the board's life easier. The residents loved it. And why wouldn't they? They could get answers to their questions in under a minute, any time of day, instead of waiting a day or two for a reply. So resident satisfaction scores shot up by 15 points. When you add it all up, the impact was just huge. This little AI team was doing the work of about 3 full-time employees for each and every HOA, and that is what let Kaloop scale like crazy, bringing on over 20 new communities a week without having to hire more people. So what's the big takeaway here? It's not just about HOAs. What Kaloop pulled off is basically a blueprint for how you can apply this kind of automation in almost any industry that deals with a lot of customer questions. And that blueprint is actually pretty simple. It's just 3 steps. First, you seed it. Start with real, past conversations to teach the AI how people actually talk. Second, you clone it. Build a master template that you can copy, so you're not starting from zero every time. And third, you combine it. Always pair your automation with easy human oversight. But the story doesn't end here. The next big step is making these AI agents proactive. Imagine an agent that doesn't just wait for you to ask a question, but instead reminds you that dues are coming up, or keeps an eye on community sentiment to flag problems early.
And that really leaves us with this one last big thought. When an AI can handle all the repetitive operational questions like, where do our dues go? What bigger, more important, more creative questions will we finally have the time and the brain power to ask?